Well, today's the day we decided to take a picnic, and we were going to Aguirre Springs. I was low on gasoline, so we stopped at Murphy's Express and filled up the car. $2.91 was the price. It wasn't the lowest in town, but it wasn't the cheapest either. I paid at the pump. I didn't want to go inside. Didn't want to catch this COVID-19. People were getting money, but we didn't need money where we were going because we had a senior pass. And when we got to the picnic area, this is the view we got. It was a beautiful view of the desert overlooking White Sands, New Mexico. And here's our picnic area. Yes, it's number 13. Some people wouldn't pick it because of the number, but in my opinion, it's the best picnic area in the whole campground because it has such a wonderful view, and its location, easy access, easy in and easy out, and plentiful parking. So we decided to picnic here and enjoy the view. Apache plumes were everywhere to be found up here. No matter which direction you looked, there were Apache plumes. These flowers are white when they first come out, and then they turn pink. They're a hardy plant. They're beautiful, but they are delicate. And when they get ready to go to seed, they'll turn white, a little bit like a dandelion. And then these little plumes will fall off and float in the wind. I'm checking things out, and here's some beautiful flowers, maroon flowers. I call them maroon. Depending on what the light is like, they can almost look red, but it caught my eye. Sometimes the smallest things in nature are the most beautiful. And look at the grass. This is grass seed, and you can see that it's pink with red and some more beautiful orange flowers that have yellow inside. Looks like many more are getting ready to bloom. You can see the buds on them right now with the Apache plume in the background. In the center of this picture is called, I believe, a Spanish blade. It has serrations on the edges, and you have to be careful with it because it will cut you. It was a partially windy day, and which was good for us because it kept the insects away. Rosalind and I were going for a walk together to check out where the water was. We heard a water sound. We heard water, and water in this area is very unusual. So we thought, well, gee, where's the water coming from? Let's go check it out. And sure enough, as we went down the trail, kind of into the ravine, we saw water coming down this brook. And you could see that it was coming down quite in torrents at one time. But it had gone and come down into a trickle, pretty much of a trickle. And the flowers that were blooming along the edges, an occasional butterfly. But it had really flooded in here at one time, and now it has been reduced to what I would call a brook, a small little mountain stream. The water looked pure enough to drink, but no one's going to take any gambles. It trickles over the rock. This used to be a volcanic region in here, so the rocks are pretty hard, and the little brook is trickling over the rocks as it works its way down the mountain. I thought this plant was unusual because it was heart-shaped. The leaf was heart-shaped, and it caught my eye. And what a beautiful shady place for a little critter to hang out, huh? Right underneath there. Not deep enough for any brook trout, but of course this doesn't run year-round. This is basically just a spring. And the skies, they were so blue that day with the white puffy clouds. It really was a nice day. And the water, as it went down, exposed different colored rocks from the erosion. This particular area has roots growing down. You can see where the roots have been washed away from the stream. Look how the water trickles over the boulders. It finds its way down. We didn't see any ponds or anything, at least along the path that we took. So it was pretty much just, what would I say, more of a mountain brook, um, kind of a spring. This is a big old oak tree that's taken advantage of the rains that have come its way over the years. And you can see the boulders and the blue skies and the clouds in the background. Very lush and green. Normally this is all brown, tan colored area. But this is a video of I'm going to call it a alligator juniper or a alligator pine. Anyhow, it does have juniper berries on it. And a fern-like plant growing right up and into and out of a boulder. Tenacious plant. Sometimes it's best not to talk, but just listen. The sound from this brook is amazing. To just hear a babbling brook in the middle of the desert. Now this is the Chihuahuan Desert we're in. It's not the Sonoran Desert, but the Chihuahuan Desert. And we only get about 6 inches of rain per year, so this is a big event for us. Someone coming from the east will not think much of this, but out here in the desert, this is like liquid gold. And for all I know, you might be able to pan for gold here. I don't know. But look at the cloud formation. Isn't that beautiful? Well, we made it back from our little venture down by the brook, and it was time to clean up. And we're getting ready to make some lunch. I had this little orange container. It used to contain laundry detergent in it. And after we finished the laundry detergent, I rinsed it out real good. and I fill it with water, and this is what we use to wash our hands with. And it's just perfect for the job. See, couldn't get cleaner hands. Just dry them off a little bit, and I'm ready to start cooking because we're getting a little bit hungry. We have the table set up with the American flag fabric. I got my non-stick skillet, and we got us a gallon of water and my Coleman propane stove. These are some of the things we brought along: cheese, butter, Hilshire Farm sausage, hot dogs, and we all packed it in ice. Now I'm going to try and light this Coleman stove. Like I said, it's a little bit breezy. Yep, looks like I got it lit. You can see the blue flame there. Well, anyhow, after getting the stove lit, it was time to start cooking. And the first thing on the menu was hot dogs. Oscar Mayer hot dogs, to be specific. The beef, uncured Franks. We even brought ice with us. The blue glass is mine and the red is Rosalind's. Hot dog chili sauce goes with these hot dogs. And I got them in a non-stick Teflon pan. Now that's not what you call roughing it, but that's what the hot dog looked like. We put it on a piece of bread, and I enjoyed it tremendously. It was very good while we looked over the desert scape. In the far right, you can see a tree that was struck by lightning. I believe that was a alligator pine at one time, and the branches sticking out there on the right. This is a shot taken of the other side of the mountain range. This side goes towards Albuquerque and extends all the way north. It's part of the Rocky Mountain chain. And the desert floors below. We're at about 7,000 feet right now. And here's our resident lizard who came to check us out. He's in the fire pit right now, and we discovered him. And he seems as interested in us as we are in him. Look at the long tail on that beauty. And the eyes, amazing. Little nose, has a green throat and a blue belly. Quite a beautiful animal. Well, the hot dog's finished and I'm eating top ramen now. We just cooked top ramen. Top ramen's hard to find out here. They have a substitute for it, but during this pandemic it's been hard to find, and we found this at the dollar store. And one serving of top ramen just wasn't enough for me. I had already eaten one hot dog and some top ramen, and I was going to cook another top ramen, so I was pretty hungry. Chicken flavored too. It's too bad Walmart doesn't carry this anymore. I don't even know if they're making it. But when you go to the grocery store, you can't find it. We found this at the dollar store. It's probably old stock, but it tastes the same to me. It didn't taste any different than typical top ramen. It took a while to cook up here because the breeze was blowing the propane, the heat, out from underneath the pan. So, and then again at this altitude, the water didn't get actually that hot. So it took me a while to cook this, and I'm testing it right now to see if it's cooked. And it looks just about right. It's easy to get dehydrated up here in the mountains. It is very dry. The air is dry. And I found that when I was cooking the top ramen, I had to keep adding water to it because it was evaporating out. I like my top ramen. I cook it with the directions, 2 cups water, but I had to keep adding water to it. And here's our, oh geez, bowl, I should say. And Rosalind's eating out of the top of the pan, and it looks like she's enjoying it very much. We have a fun time visiting this place. It's close by. It's about, oh, 13, 14 miles as a crow flies. But the trip up here takes about 35 to 40 minutes from our home. And it's such a beautiful, peaceful place. Hey, there's a little dragonfly popped in. And a butterfly too. Look how the clouds are throwing a shadow on the desert floor. Isn't that neat? What's amazing is that it turned green so quickly after the rain. And the flowers, this Apache plume. Oh, by the way, did you know that we're in Apache territory? The Apache once roamed this land. This is part of their land, which is why this is called Apache plume, because this is where the Apaches lived. Well, after lunch, we decided to take another walk, so we were going down, explore a little bit more, maybe go down in that ravine and see if we could spot a different place along that brook. And we keep coming along this Apache plume, and it catches the wind real good. You can see how, uh, once it goes to seed, that it would fly away. It would be like a dandelion, just kind of float in the wind. But I like the pink color on it. I think it's really pretty, and it's furry. You touch it, and it is as furry and fuzzy as it looks. It seems like there could be some use for this plant, although I don't know what it would be other than to just look at. But maybe the Apache had a use for it. I'm not sure. But sometimes it's just good to take a look at the small things in nature. Uh, see the tree instead of the forest. Now here's the lizard. He came back to visit us since we checked him out at the fire pit. He decided to come visit our picnic table. And it's amazing how he can cling to almost anything. He's underneath the tablecloth right now. Yep, there he goes. And let's see where he comes out at. Oh, he's coming out on the other side. And there he is. Yep, look at him jump. Did you know these little lizards can jump? I call them blue-bellied lizards. I'm sure there's a name for them. I can't quite think of it right now. But they can actually jump, and they can cling to almost any surface, and they eat insects. There you can see his green throat. Got little bitty claws, 5 fingers, 5 toes, and he's definitely not afraid of us, which I think is cool. He must look at us like we're a cow or something, because we didn't bother him over there in the fire pit, so he thinks that we're safe to hang around. I thought he might be going for the bread, find a way to cut a hole in the plastic. And I was going to let him. But now I guess bread wasn't on his menu. He's just picking up little bitty insects along the way. I think they're cute as a button. But there's one thing for sure, they can move fast. Well, after we made it back, we decided it was time for coffee and Danish, and I brought my Revere ware, actually quite an old pot, antique, I guess, and we were perking some coffee, enjoying the view. And you can see the sun behind the cloud over here, behind the Oregon Mountains. We're on the east side, and the sun is starting to set somewhat. And I'm just waiting for this coffee to perk. And it's fun to watch it percolate because it comes up in the glass. You can see it. And there it is. Coffee and Danish. We're having cinnamon Danish.
I'm afraid to drink it.
Served in a Corningware cup, which I believe is also probably an antique. Yeah, I'm enjoying myself. You can see it. You can see it in my face. I love coming up here. Everywhere you look, it's green. Wherever the water can hit and the vegetation can take a foothold, it turns green. It just waits for the rain. And when the rains come, the desert blooms. This is a gray oak, and down here is the stream. It's running alongside the gray oak. A little brook. You can see the water coming down through and the different vegetation. Little yellow flowers running through the rocks. And anywhere it can flow, it will flow. In between, around and over and underneath, finding its way downhill and eventually out into White Sands, New Mexico. There's a lake out there that holds this water. It's called Lake Lucerne, I believe. And that's how the White Sands was made, from Lake Lucerne, because the gypsum dries up from it. And here's some more flowers. Beautiful orange flowers. Look at this rock formation. One boulder piled on top of another boulder and one finally on top. And here's a view of our picnic area from that location. I'm looking upstream right now at the brook as it comes down the mountain. You can see over time how it's carved its way through the rock. Now this rock is volcanic because this used to be a volcanic area. The sound is beautiful. I love to hear the sound of the brook as it flows down the mountain because it's so rare. And I guess it's one of the reasons they call this place Aguirre Springs, because all this water is coming out from the mountainside. When it rains, it trickles down into the soil at the top of the mountain and comes out through a spring and trickles down this brook, which is again why it's called the Aguirre Springs Campground. And it's on the east side of the Oregon Mountains, just east of Las Cruces, New Mexico. Another beautiful alligator pine and some heart-shaped vines. Very green, beautiful, unusual shape leaf. We see a lot of this flower too, the orange one. And there's a little bird on top of that old juniper pine, alligator pine. It's against the rules to collect wood in this area. You're not allowed to collect wood, and you'll be fined if you do. So let things lay where they be and don't go collecting any minerals or any rocks or any wood, because they want to leave it just the way it is for the next guy. They call these mountains the Organ Mountains because the Spanish thought it looked like pipe organs when they first viewed it. So it's called Organ, O-R-G-A-N, Organ Mountains. Well, we had finished our picnic for the day and it was starting to get late, and we were heading down the mountain, and this jackrabbit was in the road. I call it a jackrabbit because it has long front legs. It's not a cottontail, it's a jackrabbit. And he saw me before I saw him, but I stopped the car and Rosalind got out, and very slowly she took video of this jackrabbit. It looks like a young one. He's not really afraid of us, but he is cautious, and I don't blame him. You can only get so close and then he'll run away. Here's the sunset. The sunset as it hits the Oregon mountain range, and you can see the sunlight, the orange sunlight reflecting off the spires of these beautiful mountains. It's shady on this side of the mountain, but the other side, the western side, is still lit. So we're having an early sunset. And there's the moon. It's just about a full moon. You can see it there in the sky. It's not quite full, but it's close. You can see the man in the moon. You got your two eyes and your mouth. And we had a really great time, and thanks for watching.